Do you think that Donald Trump made any inroads with those independent voters that he needs to be speaking to after the performance he handed in at this debate?
Depends which way they lean, right? Because there's independent, but very few people are truly independent, right? Anyway. Well, you would think so, right? But you might, like I had friends in Texas, right? Because it's Republican. And it's like, well, you know, I didn't see anything that would stop me from voting for him, right? So he didn't admit to too many crimes. If you were trying to be objective about it, no, he obviously did not. But if you were looking for certain things, then maybe, right? Because he was everything he is all the time, so you weren't surprised.
Remember when Mark Cuban was singing Trump's praises back in 2015? Well, folks, that bromance has crashed harder than the stock market during tax season, and Cuban just dropped a truth bomb that has Trump fuming. In a viral interview, Cuban called Trump the zoolander president who's all blue steel poses with zero substance. And just like that time your high school bestie spread rumors about you, this friendship breakup is getting messy and we've got all the juicy details. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever wonder how two billionaires go from bromance to breakup faster than Trump changes his mind on Twitter? Well, grab some popcorn because the Mark Cuban-Donald Trump friendship meltdown is the reality show we never knew we needed.
Donald Trump wants you to have a lousy Christmas. Donald Trump is that Grinch, the Grinch that wants to steal your Christmas. All the toys, sporting goods, clothes, shoes, backpacks, even the good old book of dad jokes that I get every single Christmas. People just don't realize how many of the products that we use on a daily basis are made in China. It's a lot. And this time next year, you're going to be making decisions on the Christmas presents you want to buy for family and friends, won't you?
Back in 2015, Mark Cuban was practically writing Trump's name in hearts all over his notebook. The guy was absolutely gushing, calling Trump the best thing to happen to politics in a long, long time. Talk about a man crush. Cuban was basically the president of the Trump fan club, and all seemed peachy in billionaire bromance land. But then something weird happened. Cuban started actually listening to what Trump was saying. Revolutionary concept, right? Like someone who orders their favorite meal online without reading the description, only to discover they've been scammed when the food arrives. That's exactly how Cuban felt when he realized the Trump special wasn't quite as advertised. The disappointment hit Cuban harder than a bad investment. He described the letdown like ordering a steak and receiving a hamburger patty with ketchup instead. Ouch! Imagine expecting a prime ribeye and getting a McDonald's reject. That's not just disappointment, that's billionaire betrayal.
If Donald Trump is elected and he puts these 60% tariffs on Chinese products, they are all going up. All those things you buy are going up. It'll be up so much you won't be able to afford the presents that you want for your family and friends. Not by 10% or 20%, but by 50 or 60% or more. That's how bad the tariffs he wants are. I didn't hear you.
As time went on, Cuban's Trump-colored glasses started to crack. He began noticing that Trump's promises were emptier than his Mar-a-Lago resort during hurricane season. That's not just a sick burn, that's weather-related political commentary at its finest. Cuban was clearly done with Trump's all-talk, no-action routine faster than you can say, "You're fired." But Cuban didn't just quietly back away like most celebs who regret their political endorsements. Nope, he went full scorched earth on his former buddy. He straight up called Trump batshit crazy. And that's a direct quote, folks. When a billionaire businessman starts using language usually reserved for reality TV confessionals, you know things have gotten serious. The bromance wasn't just over, it was buried 6 feet under with a tombstone that read, "Here lies what Mark Cuban thought was a competent businessman." Cuban's most brutal burn came when he dubbed Trump the zoolander president. all blue steel poses with zero substance behind those squinty eyes. For those who missed the reference, he's basically calling Trump a vapid male model who can't turn left. The comparison is perfect. A self-obsessed character who thinks he's much smarter and better looking than he actually is. Somewhere Ben Stiller is either laughing or calling his lawyer. Not content with just questioning Trump's intelligence, Cuban went straight for the orange jugular by targeting something that would hurt Trump more than any political criticism: his billionaire status. Cuban publicly cast doubt on Trump's financial claims, wondering aloud, who knows how much debt he has? In Trump's world, suggesting he might not be as rich as he claims is basically the equivalent of telling a vampire they're out of blood. It's gonna make them hiss and retreat to their gold-plated coffin. According to Cuban's implication, Trump might have been kicked out of the real billionaire club faster than a Mar-a-Lago guest without a membership card. When one billionaire starts questioning another billionaire's billions, that's like the ultimate rich person insult. It's like saying your yacht is actually just a really big boat.
I'll ask you another question. If prices go up 50 or 60%, will you be able to afford all the presents you want to buy for your family and friends? You know, it'll be tough. It'll be heartbreaking not to be able to buy the Christmas presents that you want. And you know who will be the Grinch that stole that Christmas? Their costs for everything they sell, or most of the things they sell, could go up by 60%.
The real kicker in this billionaire breakup saga, Cuban pointed out that during the Republican convention, none of Trump's business partners showed up to support him. He called this a red check mark. Basically billionaire speak for major red flag. Imagine throwing a birthday party and none of your friends show up. Now imagine that party is nationally televised. That's the kind of loneliness Cuban was highlighting, and it's the billionaire equivalent of having zero friends at your birthday party. Cuban also didn't hold back about Trump's cognitive abilities, noting that you can't be 78 years old and not expect some decline.
I've learned a lot about business, including how tariffs work. Now, he has this crazy notion that putting a tariff of 60% on every single product imported from China is a good idea. Now, let me just ask you a question. You all know anybody who doesn't know how tariffs work? All right, I'll give you a hint. That other guy. This man has so little understanding of tariffs, he thinks that China pays for them. This is the same guy who also thought that Mexico would pay for the wall, so there's no Mexico.
That's not just a dig at Trump's age. It's questioning whether the former president's elevator still goes all the way to the penthouse, if you catch my drift. So, as predicted, the Orange Menace didn't take Cuban's criticism lying down. Reports show Trump's been having a complete meltdown on Truth Social, rage posting about Cuban like a teenager who just got dumped before prom. Nothing gets under that paper-thin skin, quite like another rich guy suggesting he might not be in the 3 Comma Club after all. The relationship breakdown speaks volumes, with Cuban admitting, "I haven't spoken to him since right before he left the White House." Ouch. Meanwhile, Trump's fan base is shrinking faster than his claims about crowd sizes. Only 38% of Americans still support him, and a whopping 60% of his former fans feel they got the raw end of the deal. Seems like Cuban isn't the only one finally seeing through the smoke and mirrors. In politics, today's golden boy can become tomorrow's punchline faster than Trump can misspell kofef, and Cuban's making sure everyone gets the joke.